Principles of business writing. Principle number one, avoid what we call colloquialism. So whenever you write anything in business, be it a letter, be it a memoir or an email, try to avoid colloquial English, what we call colloquialism. Do you have anyone who knows what colloquialism is? Or this is Greek to you? No, not really. But thank you for trying. What is colloquial English when you're writing? I'll help you. Colloquial English is what you call slang. So when you write, try to avoid what? Slang. I hear you speak like this on a daily. For example, someone can say, yesterday I was at the party, no cap. No cap. What are they saying? Yesterday I was at the party, no cake. What are they saying? You guys are too old. Who's younger? When they say no cap, she's old as well. Yes. No. You guys are too old. You're too old. No cap. When the youngsters say no cap, they're saying, I'm not lying. No lies. No cap. So it's colloquial language. You first said words like dude. You know, dude. What is dude in English? So dude is a word for brother, right? Or sister, you're saying dude, right? So avoid writing like that in business. And then number two, I want you to avoid what we call trite expressions. Avoid what? Trite expressions. Now, what are trite expressions? These are expressions, English expressions that have been used over and over again such that they've lost their literal taste. So we are saying these are old-fashioned expressions in English. Can I give an example? For example, you can't write like this in business. You can't say, it was raining cats and dogs yesterday. Have you heard that before? It was raining cats and dogs. What is this person saying? It was heavy rain. But have you ever tried to understand where this statement came from to say when it's raining cats and dogs, it's raining heavily? It came from the Western world. What they used to have thatched houses, especially in England. And they had puppies playing on the thatched roof and cats. And when it starts raining, what happens to the grass, the dry grass, the thatch? It becomes slippery. So the cats and the puppies they're sleeping and they're seeing them through the window. Then they say, oh, it's raining what? Cats and dogs. So that's a trite expression. You can't also say, my boss had been sick for some time, that he finally kicked the bucket. Yes, now I see you guys are old. You know these ones. Youngsters don't know this stuff because it's old-fashioned English. Do you know where it came from to say when you kick the bucket, somebody has died? Again, it came from England during medieval times. You'd find out that there was a death sentence. When somebody murdered people, they were given a death sentence by the judge. And when it's time for them to be executed, they were made to stand on something like a bucket. The priest would come with the Bible. They would make him confess so that he can be right with the Lord. So when it's time for him to be executed, the hangman would come and kick the bucket. But you don't write like that in business today. That is old-fashioned English. Avoid colorful superlatives. Avoid what? When you write to your clients, whatever you write in business, try and avoid colorful superlatives. What do we mean here? We are saying try and avoid flowery language. You guys grew up in an era where you would write letters to your girlfriends, right? Yes. This one is younger at least. I don't think it fits. But I'm sure you wrote. You see, you'd write colorful language to try and impress the ladies. You know, I was a man of letters. I remember myself. I would write letters and I would win some honeys. But that's a thing of the past now. Now I'm grown up. All right.
Silver cup is broke.
The silver cup is broke. So you don't write like that. In English now, in business writing, we are saying you write as simple as you can. Look for the simplest word you can find or simplest expressions you can find. In fact, the objective is to express yourself, not to really impress. Which brings me to my next point. Avoid verbosity. Verbosity is too much use of big words. I can think of a word like lackadaisical. He was walking lackadaisically towards his car. What does that mean? After a long day, he was walking lackadaisically towards his car. What does that mean? Lazily. So why can't you say lazily? Look for the simplest word you can find in English for you to be able to communicate. The last thing that you would want is to speak above the heads of the audience. Try and use simple. Do not Americanize your English. Do not. What does that mean? Not like that. I'm talking about formal English. American English and our English, which is basically British, is different. Have you seen that the spellings are different? Can you spell color for me? C-O-U-R. Or L-O-U-R, right? In American one does not have a U. Whenever we put an S, the Americans put a Z. So try and avoid American English. Apologize. Colonize. Do you see that? Even the grammar itself is different. How do you say, where were you yesterday in American English? No, that's a contraction. It's an infringement. I'm talking about when you write and speak in full, without contractions. Let me give an example. They can say, where was you yesterday? Now, when you speak like that and write like that in this part of the world, then it sounds broken. Do you see? So you say, where were you? They say, where was you? Do you see that? Spellings are different. The grammar is different. Even measurements. Measurements are different. Even some words are different. I can give you an example. How do they say petrol in America? They say what? Say it again. Gas. When you say gas here, what does it mean? You know what you're talking about, right? It's not petrol. You see. We also say kgs, right? Kilograms. What do they use? We also use kilometers. What do they use? Miles and stuff like that. So try not to Americanize your English. Avoid archaic English. Archaic English is your old-fashioned English. How many of you have read the King James Bible? Have you seen the language? Thou art shalt not steal. Yeah, Shakespearean, old Shakespearean medieval language. It does not have place in business communication today. Avoid tautology. Avoid what? Tautology. What is tautology? Say it again. Clap hands for this man. Well done. Give me an example of tautology, repetition. Let me give you a good one. You can't say, I returned back from Mafikeng yesterday. What is to return? So can you say return back? But don't you speak like that? We do, but it's wrong. We also cannot say, let me tell you the honest truth. Is the truth ever dishonest? You can't say that. You cannot say that. So you cannot say, I'm looking for a job vacancy. What is a vacancy? So why do you say job vacancy? You know, there are so many things that we say that are not correct in English in South Africa. For instance, let me tell you this one. We do this and we say this on a daily basis. Somebody said this to me this morning. You cannot say, borrow me a pen. You can't say that. I know what you mean, but if you say this to any other person outside South Africa, they don't get what you're saying. What should you say? Lend me your pen. But what I have done is I've borrowed. Do you see? So you don't say borrow me, you say lend me your pen. Do you see that? Do not meander. Do not what? Meander. When you write, don't go round and round in circles, yet there is a shorter way of saying what you want to say. Do not beat about the bush. Get straight to the point. Every statement that you write in business, be it in a letter, be it in a memoir, must be a point. There mustn't be redundant sentences like that. And also, keep your sentences basic or simple. I'm talking about sentence types here. So what am I saying? There are basically 4 types of sentences in English. We have a simple sentence. We also have a compound sentence. We have a complex sentence. We also have an elliptical sentence. But for the purposes of business communication, we try and use simple sentences, which are called basic sentences. At times, in other texts, you're going to hear that they are called independent clauses. All right? I'll show you how a simple sentence looks like, but basically it's subject plus active verb plus object. Subject plus active verb plus object. You guys, you know what a verb is, right? What is it? Yeah, okay, it's a doing word. What about a noun? A name. Ah, these guys are sharp. What about a pronoun? You're stuck now. A pronoun can be used instead of a noun. I can say he, she, they. What about an adverb? What about an adjective? Those are basic aspects of a speech, right? Avoid passive writing. Use what we call positive scripting when you write. So try and avoid what? Passive writing. So passive writing is something like, the ball was kicked by Gabriel. That's passive writing. Rather use an active voice. Can you reconstruct this sentence for me? The ball was kicked by Gabriel. Gabriel kicked the ball. That's active. Positive scripting. All right. Avoid discriminatory words. Avoid what? Discriminatory words. There are words now that are no longer acceptable. Do you know that language has been used over a long period of time to discriminate certain groups in society? For example, everything black has been associated with something negative. I don't know if you noticed. When they say you are blacklisted, what does it mean? Why can't you be brown listed or blue listed?
Black sheep of the family.
Black sheep. He speaks about a black sheep in the family. Who is a black sheep in the family? Somebody who's an outcast. Everyone else is doing well, except you. They call you what? A black sheep in the family. A black spot on the road. What is that? A place where many accidents happen. What about black magic? Black magic. Where they say this one is a specialist in black magic. It's negative. Do you see? They are talking about witchcraft. Black magic. What about, but don't you think there's also witchcraft in, do you know where the word witchcraft came from? It was not negative in the beginning. When white people came to Africa, they could not understand things that we did, our festivals, our ceremonies, and other things that we're doing in Africa. And they were saying, witchcraft is this. Witchcraft is this. Yeah, witchcraft is this. They saw us doing other things, worshiping or, observing, worshiping our ancestors, and they were saying, witchcraft is this. Do you know that in Africa in the past, especially where I come from, I hear stories that our forefathers would go to a tree, for instance, and say incantations, and food would appear. When white people came, they did not understand it. They said, witchcraft is this. But now witchcraft now means something negative. It's not like witchcraft is among black people only. No. We also have witchcraft in other races. But they give it nice names. They can say this one is a fortune teller. That person is a witch, man. He's a witch. It's a witch man. Do you see? Avoid discriminatory. Black Friday. Do you think Black Friday is a good word? It's not.
No, they were selling black people.
During slavery. Remember transatlantic slave trade? Black people were sold for cheap on a Friday. And it was called what? Black Friday. So everything black has been associated with something negative now. But the truth of the matter is, it shouldn't be like that. So when you write yourself, you must not perpetuate those stereotypes where everything black is. That's why you see that some of our people, especially women, they are trying so hard to be yellow bones to a point where they are damaging their skin because they think being black is what? Is negative. Or for the list. What time is it now? Or it's tea? In your mind already you are seeing food. It's fine. Let's take a break. Let's take a break and